What's happening? Thanks for joining us again. I'm Chris.
I'm Pete.
And another fun one today where we're doing a little side-by-side. And this is Dogfish Head's Old School. We got a fresh bottle, which is the 2012 batch. And I believe this was the one.
2007.
Yeah, 2007. The paint sort of rubbed off on the side, but 2007 bottle, so we're going to take a look at them. From my understanding, I've never had a fresh one. This would be my first time ever having a fresh one, and it's apparently pretty rough.
I actually have a funny ignorant beer drinker story. I got some 2012 fresh, and I popped it. I knew it was 18% alcohol. This stuff is crazy high alcohol. And I drank it out of the bottle, like while I was doing something in the basement, and it was the most absolutely horrible stuff I've ever had.
I think I remember your post on Facebook about that.
It was like drinking jet fuel. It was absolutely nasty.
Yeah, 15%. It's not a small beer.
And guess what he was doing on the basement afterwards? On his face, fucking sleeping.
Yes. Oh, it is only 15. I thought it was 18. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a big beer, but I mean, clearly the most notable difference in these is the color again. You know, the last vertical or side by side we did definitely gave us a color difference. The fresh one, it's a kind of a dark amber. You know, it produces about there's like a finger and a half of just a nice creamy sort of off-white head.
Yep.
The 2007 is definitely dark and murky. It's almost like a
reddish.
It's like a ruby, ruby red, like mahogany, kind of like just really deep and rich.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's not clear at all. It's very murky too.
Yeah. Now this one, it's a Barleywine style. Apparently, what Dogfish did with this is they actually add figs, some dried fruits and stuff like that to actually add the sugars for carbonation. So that's sort of a little different than a lot of the other ones I've had. But let's just it's like funny when you swirl it. The head on the older one is much darker. You know, it's like a khaki color. Where this is just basically off white.
Still got serious legs on it though.
Well, it's 15%. I don't think that's going anywhere.
No, I guess not.
Jesus. Anyway, so that's the appearance. Let's get a aroma here. Ooh, that's nice. It's like really rich malts. You're getting some of that fig, that kind of dark fruit complexity.
Still's got a little bit of heat on it. I mean, you can still taste or smell it.
Some candied sugar. You know, some of that. There's a touch of oxidation at this point, but I think that's one of those things that kind of adds a little character and depth to a beer like this.
It's pleasant smelling.
Yeah, really nice. I like that a lot. Let's see what the fresh one has to offer.
Oh.
Wow, that smells nothing like the other one. Which is why right on the bottle it says bury it in the, in the
dirt
hole
for 10 years or something.
2 years. Forget that you own it.
Dig 4x2 hole.
Yeah.
Drop in.
The smell is very, like, acidic.
It still has some kind of pearish kind of. At least I'm getting a little bit of fruit.
A slight fruity.
Alcohol can sometimes smell like fruit.
Yeah, it's kind of floral. You know, you're getting a little bit of the malt.
Yeah.
Little, like, maybe kind of slightly grainy, but slight bit. But yeah, mostly you get some of the fruits, stuff like that. It's nowhere near the aroma that you're getting off of this 2007. I mean, this is just so big, rich, and malty smelling. I mean, it's just outstanding. So, clearly the next step we need to do is drink it. So, let's get at it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
That's damn good.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
It's just rich. There's lots of dark fruit, the figs. Like a touch of maybe almost tobacco in there.
Very sweet.
Yeah, it's a very sweet
very,
beer.
Very sweet beer.
Yeah. Like the richness in it is just outstanding though. It's just that end finish where it lingers and it's really a rich malt. It doesn't fade off to any sort of an alcohol burn. For 15%, it's warming, but you're not tasting any of the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just a very nice tasting beer. Let's go to maybe what might be the unpleasant part of this. The fresh one.
It's not as bad as I thought.
No,
it was gonna be at all.
that's not the jet fuel that I remember.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's been. I mean, this is fairly new stuff too.
Yeah, it was the end of 2012, right?
Yeah.
It's
6 months.
It just says 2012 on the bottle. You can't tell. It's basically, it tastes like the 2007. Like if you just added like a tenth of the flavor this one has and just combined it into a beer.
This is much thinner. I mean, this is kind of a richer experience.
Yeah, I think
it gets thicker or something. I don't know.
Yeah, as you know, the malts change and evolve and blend together, it just becomes a much fuller tasting beer. This, you can taste all the parts of it at like a tenth of the level that you would have tasted them in this aged version.
I didn't think it was near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to taste like
Yeah.
awful, but it was surprisingly not that bad.
There's more prevalent just alcohol in the fresh one, but I think the sweetness sort of like of just the alcohol itself blends into the rest of the beer.
Yeah.
For those, there's almost like there really is like a grape kind of quality to it.
Yeah. I think it tastes I taste fig is what I keep tasting, and with the aged one, the fig character is all that back end sweetness tastes like either dates or figs. It's very nice. I mean, it's too sweet to drink a lot of, but it's an extremely complex beer. I mean, you're not supposed to drink a ton of 15% beer. I don't think.
You're not supposed to like be cracking a 4-pack of this.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I don't even think I could get through. But I noticed that with Raisin Extra as well, or what's the high alcohol version of Raisin?
Raisin Extra.
Yeah.
Detra. Yep.
Detra.
It had a similar quality, and it was just very sweet, but it was interesting to try.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time drinking a whole bottle of this.
I wouldn't.
No.
Well, you really like malty barley wines as well, though.
A lot like this is like right up my alley. Like a big malty, complex barley wine. Like I would pour this, like 3 hours at night, hanging out, doing whatever. Like this would be my beer. Like this would be fantastic. Yeah, the fresh one. It's all right. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. I can see where people. I can find the parts in this where people are going to say, this is too abrasive. Like, I can't do this.
I think the alcohol comes in a lot in the nose in that one. That's really where I found it to be unpleasant, is in the nose. The flavor itself, not near as good as obviously a 3-year-old version of it, but still not near as bad as what it was in my head, which could be part of the reason why I don't think it's
so this one being 5 to 6 years old, I mean, really just adds a world of depth of what,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this is like what a barley wine should be.
Yeah, no, that's a quintessential English barley wine.
This of all, and I'm not a huge barley. I mean, I appreciate barley wines and I like drinking them and I'm enjoying these. This I think is the first time that I've had something that was dramatically improved with age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely worth keeping this off to the side and making this. I mean, it's like there's not even really a big there's a comparison. I mean, this is phenomenally better than that.
Like this. One of the first beer reviews I ever did was a 2-year-old old school, and it was excellent. It was a very good barley wine. It was nothing like this. A lot of the rich malt character had come through. Not nearly like this, but it was great. But I mean, this is just completely different. It's outstanding. Like, I'm loving every second of this. So yeah, I guess with that said, we're just gonna keep talking about how awesome stuff is. But
and thank you, Steve Wren.
Thank you, Steve.
For the 2007 Old School.
All right, cool. We're gonna enjoy the rest of this, and hope you're enjoying something as well. And see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, Steve.